Hey guys, it's Ray. Coming to you with actually a pretty good video for you. I'm doing a favor for a buddy whose wife has a pistol and he wanted to get the slide dipped. So I offered to do it. And it's a pistol that I was having a hard time finding some instruction on how to take the slide apart. There wasn't any videos out there, so I fiddled with it, and I'm going to make a video on how to take it apart. I have figured out how to do it. I have done this once. I have put it back together. There is no video on how to take this slide apart. Detail strip. And that's what we're going to do today. I didn't put it in the title for a reason, because I want this to be a bit of a surprise for y'all. Today, I got my buddy's wife's Ruger P35 and 45 caliber. I have never actually fired a 45 caliber before, so it's going to be interesting. So, it's a relatively newer gun from what I've gathered. It does need a little bit of cleaning, so I'm going to do that for him as well. It is very, very beautiful. It actually looks a little bit like my Sigma because of the two-tone. But it is a very, very nice gun. A little hefty, but still like it. It's got the safety and the hammer. That's right. It is just beautiful. So, a lot of you don't know the features on a P345, or for those that don't know, my fault. There's different features on it I didn't know, and he was a little unfamiliar with. He's had the gun for about a year, but it didn't come with a manual, and I had to find things out on my own. It's got a hammer decock safety. The hammer will come back in safe, but it won't come all the way back. It won't even lock back. Okay. It's got a takedown catch that's inside the magazine well that you have to have up for the hammer to even lock back. So even after you have this reassembled, if you took it off and put it on fire, it won't lock back. It'll keep coming forward. So that's to note. So to take it apart, we're going to do a field strip. A lot of people know this. Some people don't. But then I'm also going to go to a detailed stripping. There's no video on YouTube that I could find of a detailed stripping of this firearm. And if there is, it just hasn't been properly tagged. So I'm going to make sure I tag this with the Ruger P345. I keep wanting to call it a Sig Sauer because of the P. It is really throwing me off. But the Ruger P345, I'm going to make sure I have it tagged. So if anyone ever needs to reference it, we're going to do this. My wife's behind the camera again tonight, guys, so not going to have that weird angle of me having it down there. I know I've got a few of those videos because I was by myself, but the wife and I actually had today off. So we're going to get this done, and we're going to get it done in some good angles for you guys to actually see what's going on. So let's begin. First form of disassembly, you got to make sure the firearm is clear, and because we're going to be taking this down, it does not have to come off safe. That's fine. But lock the firearm to the rear. Okay. Verify that the firearm is clear. Should be no magazine inside. Chamber is clear, obviously. Now, if you look, you see this little thing that's sticking up? That's for the load, to help load the rounds in. But also, it is the takedown lever on the inside. Push that down like that so it's in the way of the magazine well. Grab my light here, show y'all. As y'all can see, it's down, it's in the way of the magazine well. That tells you it's ready to be taken down. Now, on this side here, it's not on this side, it's on the weapon's left. There is a little line on the slide and on the frame. Okay, you need to line those up. And when you do, you're going to push this out from right to left. So line it up, pop, pull. Get your parts tray, make sure it's down there. Slide the slide forward, take the slide off. We're not going to be dealing with this. There is a video on how to detail strip this. I forget the video author's name, but it is there. So we're not going to worry about this. Not to mention I'm not working on this. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up for him, but that's a whole different ball game. This is what we're looking to work with. So it does have a pretty powerful spring. It is a 45 caliber, guys. When I was over his house and I was taking a look at this thing, I shot his recoil spring and the recoil spring guide across the room. It's a metal guide. I almost took out a window. So make sure you guys keep this under tension and ease it out. Let it come off. The spring does actually come off. Okay, and then there's this giant metal spring that's wrapped around it. It is captured on there because this end is flared. So leave it on. Don't try to force that off. This can come off. It's fine. It does have two different ends. The smaller end won't exactly fit right. This end will. What I say by that is it'll fit on there, but it won't fit in here. There's a smaller end that goes in here. So make sure you know which ends you're dealing with here. Barrel comes out. It's a Browning action. It's a little flared up front, okay? Does have its locking recesses. So we'll definitely give it a thorough cleaning as well. So that's your basic strip, okay? Just your basic field strip. Now, in order to strip this firearm all the way down, here's the tools we're going to be needing. Like I said, it took me some experimenting, so it was an adventure, to say the least. You are going to need, I'm going to go from left to right here, and you'll see me use pretty much all of these tools to a point. You're going to need some masking tape. You'll see why. You'll need some sort of a bench block. You'll need probably some small needle nose pliers, something to grip with. You're going to need a hex wrench, 2mm hex wrench. Okay, it is a metric piece that you're going to be using. It is 2mm. You are going to need it. This is only for takedown, mind you. I'm not going to do an assembly piece until after I'm done fixing it, or doing what I'm going to do with it. Anyways, you are going to need a roll pin punch. It is a 1/8 inch roll pin punch. You are going to need some regular steel punches. It's mostly for moving things around, pressing things. There is no definite size. The ones you'll see me use the most of is the number 1, which is a 1/16. The number 3, which is a 3/32, and the number 4, which is a 1/8. Okay, those are the 3 you'll see me use the most. These 2 I didn't really use the most of last time. You're going to need small Delrin brass hammer. You will need a ball peen hammer. You're going to need something that's going to give you some oomph. This one I believe is a 16 ounce. Yeah, this is a 16 ounce. So you're going to need those. Okay, you might be able to get away with an 1/8 ounce. This is the only ball peen hammer I actually have, but I definitely recommend getting something heavy, and you'll see why. Alright, so first things first, the reason why you need this. There is a set screw in the rear sight, and the rear sight has to come out. That is where all the guts are, is actually below the rear sight. Okay? So, let's get that out. Okay, you gotta get the set screw out. It's up top. There is some Loctite usually on these. It's usually how they come from the factory. This one had blue Loctite. I know I'm gonna need to Loctite it to get it back in properly. And like I said, I've been a little lacking on certain things. Today, the wife and I went shopping and got me some more supplies. I got me the T-handles. Got me some blue Loctite. Got me a few other things. Got me some compressed air finally. I know it's cheap, but you know what? It works, whatever. Got me some gun grease from my work today. I know it's the Hours Walmart stuff, but you know what? Grease is kind of grease. As long as it works, you know? So, that's the way I look at it. Anyway, so that's that. The sight should just kind of push out without really any effort. There is some stuff down there that is holding it in place. You may have to give it a couple love taps. So this is where your punches start to come into place. Grab And number 3 here. Just get it on a bench block somewhere. Hold it down, hold the punch in place. Okay. Just put it on one of the widest parts where it's not really touching the actual slide. Give it some love taps. Okay, when it starts coming out, you should. No, not yet. There we go. Now we're working. There is some stuff under here under tension. Put your hand in place. You are going to start catching stuff. Okay, get your stuff out the way. First thing to pop out is a spring. Get that out of the way. I don't know the name of these working parts. You guys know I'm not very good with that for some reason. Get a punch. No matter which one. You might have to slide the sight back in a little bit. Slide it around to get this loosened. The chamber indicator is going to pop out. There is a spring. This is where you're going to need these because the spring likes to just sit down in here. For some reason it is magnetized. I don't know why some of the parts do that. Anyways, there's a little detent down in there. You do need to push it down. And then slide the slide over it. Get your punch out the way. Your slide is free and clear. Or your slide. Bloody hell. Your rear sight. You know me and my talking. I can't friggin' English ever. Turn it over. Tap on it. Push. Pry. There's little parts that need to come out. Whatever you gotta do, get them out. This one comes out. It's not under any spring tension. Okay, for this part to come out, there's a little lever here, a little piece. It's connected to the firing pin. Lift it up. Grab the plunger that's sticking out. There is a spring under here with the plunger. Go ahead and separate them if you want. If you don't do it. Okay? So, that's for that part. Now, this took me a little bit, so we're going to take a break from that. What we're going to do, we're going to get the extractor out. The extractor is not very hard. Take your 1/16 inch punch. Get under here. Okay. You're going to need to push it off to the side. No, wrong one. Actually, get your number 3. Get it captured under there. Okay. It pushes it out. It kind of takes off a little bit of pressure. Set it up here on your bench block. Get your roll pin punch. Get it set on top of the roll pin. There's a roll pin capturing this. Okay, you're going to want to tap this out through the bottom. Let the pin fall out. That's fine. Okay. Just pinched my thumb. Anyways. Ow, damn, that actually hurt. Roll pin out. Put your thumb over the extractor. Take the roll pin punch out. Extractor's got a spring, obviously. This does fold out. It doesn't just pull out, so don't go yanking, lifting up. Fold it out. Slide it off the forward. Okay. There you go. Spring. Needs a little cleaning up. Maybe a little bit more grease. His gun is like dirty. He says he uses a certain cleaner on it, but it's not getting into the small cracks and crevices, so it needs a thorough cleaning. Here comes the fun part. The safeties. The safeties got to come off in order for the firing pin to come off. It took me a while to figure out what it is that gets these off. Let me show you. Light again. Come here. You look down in here. You see this spring and this little piece. I don't know what the hell to call it. Maybe spring holder or whatever. That spring arm over there has to be depressed. This will loosen up. In doing so, you pry it out. This will all come out, and this side of the safety will come off. As a result, this side will come off. There's a spring and detent. Okay, sweetie. There's a detent in here. There's a detent in here as well that we'll have to drive out. And then we'll be able to get the firing pin out. And then we'll be done. So, let's do this. I'm going to have to turn the light off because, well, maybe I can... Yeah, no. Oh, actually, Don't mind me as I talk to myself. As long as I'm not getting in my own way, I should be okay. So, you're going to need your 1/16 inch punch for this because there is not much room in there. So hold the slide steady. You really got to push down. You can hear me clicking. And just as you push down on it, push, damn light, push forward on this piece. Once it's out enough, you can actually pry it out. I'm going to have to do a 2-piece pull. So hold it down sometimes, and then just push it out with another punch or your finger if you can get it in there. My fingers are fat, so ain't happening. Once it's out, metal parts tray with it. Ooh, and easy. Don't do that. You will lose a spring. It comes out. It's got a little arm on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, she's holding the camera for me. So,
they forgot their bourbon chicken. I'm gonna go get it.
All right, thank you. They forgot my dinner. How dare they? How dare they? All right. So, anyways, put it on fire. And it should be able to just pull it straight up. Now watch, there's that detent that pops out. Spring and detent. Put it in there. There's the left side of your safety. Flip it over. Push this past safe. Okay, that's usually safe. Push it past safe. And it will come out. You just got to wiggle it a little bit. Okay, comes out. Now, right here is the firing pin. This part you have to get off in order for the firing pin to get out. You have to push the firing pin down. Make sure you use a big enough punch. Don't want to use it too big. Let me get a number 4 actually. Push it down. Lift this up. It comes out. Ease up on the firing pin and spring. If I can get my, there it goes. Come out, does separate. There you go. Almost done. There's one more piece to come out, and that is the detent for the safety on the right hand side. This was tricky. I seriously did not know how this worked. It looks like there's supposed to be a special key involved. And it's supposed to be maybe circular or star-shaped. There's no way to really do that without it. But there is one way you can do, and that is to get a 1/16 inch punch, press down on it. It will come out. You got to watch that spring and detent when it come out. So this little piece was all the fuss for me. The one yesterday. Now, like I said, there is a detent and spring in here.
You want to pause for 1 second so I can talk to you?
There's no pausing. What's up?
Anyway, it wasn't 52, it was 62. So I used a card.
Okay.
Here, but I still got that 60 that I took out.
Oh, you got to watch when you do that, when you get that detent and spring, because it will go flying.
I'm going to stop and go
Right.
and go and get Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Okay.
Bounce off of everything.
Be
Ready
back.
to go.
Okay. I love you.
This is Comedy Central here, folks. Comedy Central.
It's a busy house.
Yes, very, very busy at our house today. Trying to get dinner. I'm trying to do a video. They forgot my damn food. But yeah, so you gotta watch that spring and detent because it will come flying out when you tap it against your hand. It's the only way I've been able to figure out how to get it out. Ladies and gentlemen, you're almost done. I swear to you, this part took me 15 minutes at least to figure this out. Front sight. The front sight has to come out. Masking tape. This is where it comes into play. If you have a sight pusher, hopefully for this gun, use it. If you do not, and you have a sight pusher for another gun, as long as you can get it to go around it and you have a vise I would recommend using it. Because, yeah, it's definitely going to be needed. It is a pain in the absolute ass. It took me a little bit to figure it out. So get the sight pusher set up. Okay. For mine, I have a Smith & Wesson Sigma and Smith & Wesson M&P sight pusher. I can't put the bottom post in there because it runs in to this little bit right here on the slide. Okay. So, as we all know, sights drift out from left to right, and then they drift back in right to left. So set it up as such. Okay. You're going to want the hardened pusher. You don't want to use brass. I tried to use brass yesterday, and it just pretty much flattened the pusher. It is a metal sight post. You want to get it set up where it's even with it. Get it set up where it's already pressing the top part. It's a pretty thick sight, as you see. Get it set up like that. Okay? Now, after you've done that and you made sure everything is relatively even, lock it in your vise. Okay? Like as if where the post would go. Okay, too loose. Okay. Line your hand. Don't go pinching yourself. Get it locked in there. It's not going to hurt the slide. But then start turning and cranking. And of course, as you see, the sight starts coming out. Okay, it shouldn't be making any kind of a mark on there. Get it pushed out as far as it'll go. It'll start touching the side of the sight pusher. That's fine. Go ahead and loosen that up. Loosen your vise up. Take the pusher off. You might want to leave the tape intact in case you accidentally slide. Then you need to get a steel punch. Put it on that sight post. Okay, get your hammer. I was wrong. You pretty much didn't need this. I needed it for putting back together, so I was wrong about that part. Here's your front sight. Get your tape off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a disassembled slide for the Ruger P345. Completely disassembled. The guts and everything are out. It is pretty dirty. I do have to clean it. I'm going to do a lot for him. He's got where like the colors for fire and safe on the other side over here are not visible. They're not there. There's no real like indentations for it, but I might get it put on there for him. I'll see if he wants. I'll recolor these ones. I've got some red and white paint. I know I got red somewhere. Yeah, it's back there somewhere. I don't know. It's back there. It's laying down. Get those on there. Clean it all up for him. The color for this that she wants it is going to be Muddy Girl purple. That camouflage with the trees and leaves and all that stuff, but purple. So I may not need to do a base coat color for it. If I do, I think she was wanting the white to go on it. So I've got white primer, so that'll go on it. I've ordered the film. It's not here yet. Ordered it today. So we'll have that. And then, clear coat. They definitely want that. I'm going to take you guys with me throughout this project. There will be times that the wife is not with me to do this. Our days off don't exactly coincide all the time. Luckily for me, today was one of those days that it coincided. The next day off that her and I have, maybe we'll do some filming then or whatever, is, because today's the 5th of October, will be Friday, October 13th. Friday the 13th. Oh, scary. But it also happens to be my birthday. So, be working on my birthday here in the basement, working on this. Tomorrow I have to do my check ring for my stock. I'll show you guys that really quick. How are we doing on time?
25 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good. Not a very long video. This is my stock. I have stained it. Mother flippin'. God, I need a bigger shop. It's great, isn't it, folks? It's great. Oh, God. That hurt. Anyway, so here's my stock. I stained it. Got it smoothed out in those important areas, which are the pistol grip and the forend here. Show you. Here and here is where I'm going to be doing the check ring, of course. So I got that all smoothed out. I'm not going to worry about the rest of it for now. If I decide to turn it into an actual rifle, I will, and I'll work on it more. But for now, it's just a school project. They just want to see check ring. I need to concentrate on that and get it done. Ooh, got myself good. This is the reason why you got to watch what you do around your shop. Not too bad to skin my oval, but man, does that suck. Oh. Alright guys, so like I said, my first, essentially, project where it's not my gun. It's a favor for a friend. So, definitely going to be paying attention to detail on this one. Definitely going to take you guys along for the ride on this one, because I know you guys have been really wanting to see stuff. I know you guys are also following me because of the whole SDI thing. I don't have much to show except for the checkering. I'll show you guys as best I can doing the process tomorrow with the whole checkering. I got to print out the decal, not so much decal, but the design, transfer it to some wax paper, and then get it put on there. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, be safe, have fun, and do what you love. See you guys.